Hi Rachel, you and your husband run a great business up on the Central Coast, Diverse Interiors. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
We've been around for 14 years now. My husband and I run the business. We've got a few employees, a couple of apprentices, very small, and we do just the interior lining, so the plasterboard walls and ceilings that you see on your home before they get painted.
So Rachel, who are the general clients that you have?
So we've got several builders on the Central Coast, local ones that we work with.
Okay, so how's your growth been like over the last few years?
Over the last couple of years, we've obviously, like a lot of businesses, been great, and then we'll get hit by one builder who stops paying, go into administration.
So would you rate that as your major challenge?
It definitely is. It's obviously the biggest challenge in the industry is the payments, trying to get paid.
So do you want to talk us through that challenge?
Okay, so several years ago we had the unfortunate circumstances of being one of the tradies that got done by a Phoenixing company. It started to get paid well at the beginning of the project and then the money dried up. And we were talking big money for us. It was about $100,000 plus, which was big for a small business like us.
Absolutely.
We got a letter from the company and they were just saying that they were going to involuntary administration, and we then knew that we weren't going to get any money back for that. So then I started to do some more research on the company and found out that they'd changed the directors' hands, etc. We ended up getting out of the money we were owed, lucky to get, 1 cent to the dollar, 2 cents to the dollar out of that. However, the business had rolled over to another business and was back doing development again under the same directors, but families, members, etc.
You mentioned Phoenix. It's really important that people get and understand what Phoenix behaviour is. And Phoenix behaviour is a deliberate pattern of behaviour. It's setting up a business model that moves assets and monies before creditors actually have a chance to get paid. It puts people at a disadvantage in terms of how they run their businesses, particularly where they're debtors. But we need to be able to differentiate Phoenix behaviour from liquidation and voluntary administration that happens in the normal course of business because things go bad. They're two very different things. And what you've described is classic Phoenix behaviour. But some of the things that you might want to look out for going forward are things like changes in company names back to their ACN number, or changes in directors that don't make sense. Are you actually dealing with the directors, or are you dealing with someone who's representing them, particularly in the small business sphere where you would expect to be dealing with the head of the company straight up?
Definitely, yes.
You're fairly savvy now, by the sounds of it, and your interactions. In hindsight, what would you do differently?
Definitely keep on top of the payment terms and check at the start who the directors are. A bit of Google research doesn't hurt. So,
the advice in this particular case, and more generally, I think, is really around doing that research up front.
Definitely.
Using the ASIC website, it's a gold mine for information.
Definitely.
Getting on the internet, Googling, and a key thing for small business is managing that cash flow and managing your debtors.
Yes, definitely is.
So you've bounced back.
Yes.
Knowing where to go afterwards is key.
Yeah, definitely.
So from a Commonwealth government point of view, going to ASIC and lodging a complaint about the directors and the behaviour is really important. Mm-hmm. From an ATO point of view, if you experience Phoenix behaviour, get onto the ATO and lodge a complaint, and the ATO will look at it. We need to capture Phoenix in real time. Yeah. Once companies go into voluntary administration, once they're in liquidation, the chances of you actually getting your money back are much more difficult because the assets have moved, the cash is gone. It becomes a much more difficult proposition to get your money.
Yeah, definitely.
Good luck. Thanks, Rachel.
Thank you.
What a great business Rachel and her husband have got, 14 years, and to be hit with $100,000 by a Phoenix builder. Michael, it is a tragedy for small business. Can send you broke, can't it?
Oh, absolutely. David, this is a typical deliberate pattern of behaviour where basically they set up their business in a company, they strip of its assets and income, and then they liquidate the company and don't pay their debts.
But it's so annoying for other small business owners because we work so hard.
Yeah, it's terribly unfair and it doesn't ensure a level playing field. And so we sort of suggest looking for those signs that are important in business. If they change the company name, but they still use the same premises, same people you deal with.
Yep. And how can you check ahead of time? Say you've got a bit of an inkling in the back of your mind, something's fishy about this. What should you do?
Well, I reckon secondly is also to do some searches.
Yeah.
I think search some of the state, government and Commonwealth databases like ASIC, checking on company registrations and their directors and some of their history, and also do some Google searches. You might find some court matters and some media articles.
Okay, so you've been stung. Like Rachel, she's lost 100 grand. And she's probably sitting there thinking, oh, well, I've been stung. I've just got to accept it. Do you need to accept it?
Dob them in.
Right.
Complain to the ATO and ASIC, and that will stop others getting hurt.
Michael, thank you for that. I'm glad the tax officer's on our side chasing him down. All right, let's take a look at this week's elevator pitch and see what great idea is out there.